YouTube, how's it going? The Goat House is back, and today we're going over my offensive lineman rankings for the 2020 NFL Draft. Went through quite a few position rankings already, and now onto the offensive linemen, tackles, and guard centers in this group here in this video, and then we'll move on to the rest of the position rankings going forward. Plenty of NFL content already on the channel, plenty more to come. Only 9 days till the draft, and we got a whole bunch of content still in the works here. We'll be live April 23rd, day one of the NFL Draft with our instant predictions, reactions. It'll be a lot of fun right here on YouTube. Hopefully you can join us and then help us get to 50K on both of our channels by the draft. We'll really appreciate that. If you can subscribe, click the like button, and check us out on Twitter. Always Talking Football. It's a must follow. You'll find a link for everything you need in the description and in the comments, as well as our podcast, about 7 episodes out, so you can check it out. Who tops every category for the tackles here? For pass protection, went with Jedrick Wills. You can go to a lot of different options here, but Wills stands out the most. For run blocking, went with Makai Becton. Yeah, a lot of guys you could put on the run block. There's a lot of dominant run blockers in this group, but Becton just bullies people on the outside. It looks like sometimes he doesn't even use his full strength when he throws guys, and that's what stands out the most. For the zone scheme, kind of getting outside, mirroring the edge rushers, Tristan Wirfs from Iowa, I think is the best fit there. And then gap scheme, a man scheme, kind of just blocking north, straight up the field. Jedrick Wills, and the beauty about Wills is he can, we've seen some man blocking and some zone. He can fit either one. And athletic and power kind of goes with that too. You see Wirfs kind of being gifted laterally, and then just getting side to side with his quick feet, and then he's got the speed downfield. We've seen him get open in space, in the open field in space, and making blocks, getting them down and getting downfield as well. And then the power, just getting upfield and blocking guys, sometimes multiple guys, moving on from one block to the next, and just getting mean downfield. Jedrick Wills really stands out. Consistency on Andrew Thomas. He's just a consistent guy throughout his career. Open up those lanes for DeAndre Swift and keep him front protected there at Georgia. Upside, definitely Makai Becton from Louisville. Freakish size, rare size, and athletic profile for him. Just ton and already really good run blocking, so just a ton of upside there for the freaky talent. Sleepers, Ben Barch, small school in Minnesota St. John's, starting to get some recognition now. Actually, could go in the third round, but he's definitely the sleeper there for day 2. And Cameron Clark, who some teams actually think will be a guard right away, but I think he was highly productive. By productive, I mean he kept the quarterback clean. You look at how many sacks he allowed, pressures he allowed. He kept the quarterback clean. So very impressive. Clark out of Charlotte, that is. So he could be the deep sleeper and actually could go earlier on day 3. Could be kind of a sneaky guy there. My number 1 tackle in the draft, and tackles are the toughest to rank because it really, and a lot of positions fall under this statement, but it really matters about the scheme on that offensive line, what's going to fit. So it definitely varies by team, but my number 1 is Jedrick Wills. I think he just stands out the most when watching him play, as more of those dominant moments. Top 10 grade for me. Just a mean, nasty blocker, already an elite run blocker, and a very solid pass as a pass protector. Always going to be the more physical guy. I don't remember a moment where, somebody was just, showed in a play that they were stronger than him. Very good at getting upfield. We talked about that, just going just north, upfield, pancaking one guy, moving on to the next guy. He wants to get as many good blocks as he can in one play. Love that. And great adjusting his body too, And what do I mean by that? Sometimes last second Tua's got to roll out to the right, and then feels like Wills has the eyes in the back of his head and knows Tua's coming. He's really got to adjust his body. And I don't know if I've seen too many guys adjust it so quickly, like it just on the fly, as he's already blocking, moving. It's just something that stood out to me, something unique. And then why pass on him? I don't think too many teams at all will be too worried on this. So, when you're talking this good of a guy, you got to kind of come up with reasons here. But it could be why somebody may rather go with another tackle is because he was a blindside blocker as a right tackle. Where will he fit? Can he? Because the movement's a little different for left tackle. Where will he fit our team? Teams could be thinking, are they going to feel more comfortable getting a guy they know can play left tackle or right tackle in their scheme? So that could be the reason. Maybe they just feel one of those other tackles are just better because there's a really solid group of 4 here. Number 2 is going to be Makai Becton. First round grade from Louisville. This upside, freaky guy, just rare size, athletic profile, great in run blocking, in reps at both tackle positions, right tackle, from 2018 to 2019 to left tackle. From 2018 right tackle to 2019 was at left tackle. Upside is sky high. We talked about that. Why pass on him? Yeah, pass protection needs work. He'll give up some pressure this year. In 2018, not this year. Keep in mind, 2018 when he played right tackle, he allowed 23 hurries, which is it's a bad number. He kept it in the single digits this year. Moving to left tackle, could actually call that a good thing. He moved from right to left, and just like that, he improved, and that's pretty impressive. But he'll give up some pressure, maybe a little more than some of these other top-tier tackles. But, yeah, the upside is ridiculous. The run blocking is elite as a prospect. Number 3 is going to be Tristan Wirfs from Iowa. The athletic freak. We saw the display at the Combine. I think worst-case scenario for him is he's playing guard at a pretty high level. So that's pretty good. Now, if it's maybe not working out or you feel like you can get more out of him at guard, you move him to guard. He's going to be playing at a high level. Obviously, a team's going to draft him. They want to play tackle, so if he can't do that, it may be a little disappointing. But it's good that his floor is a high-level guard. That's pretty good because some of these guys, a guy like Becton's not going to play guard, So has experience playing left tackle, right tackle, pretty confident he can play guard as well, freak athlete. Great out in space. When you see him get out there kind of bleed blocking for the running back or getting down there with the running back, do they get him a pitch outside or they give him a slip screen? He's down there, getting after people, and you love to see that. Absolutely love to see it. He's really lacking length, though, which kind of could go into why some teams may like him at guard. If he plays a lengthier edge rusher, that can get his hands on him first, and kind of lacking that length of the arms, that could that could scare some teams, I suppose. But the tape's there for him. A lot of good play, and he's got the freakish athleticism. Number 4 is going to be Andrew Thomas, consistent blocker. We talked about that. Always getting the job done. I think he could fit any scheme. It was mainly zone. At Georgia, a lot of outside zone, getting out there in somewhat of space and kind of open up the hole out there for DeAndre Swift. But the way he was blocking, the way he wants to use his strength, kind of looks like he wants to go forward a little more, kind of get upfield. So that could mean I think he can fit any scheme. A lot of the big moments, a lot of them, and there was just most of the moments in general, a lot of double teams out there with Georgia. A lot of times tight end help, so it's on a whole bunch of help, but they all, for the most part, on the outside of their scheme, they had 2 guys on the edge defenders. So, I guess less reps. Having less reps, one-on-one, unlike the other guys, had a lot more reps. And then looking at Georgia's offense, too, a lot. With these top tackles, you want to see more reps, a lot more reps, pass blocking than run blocking. Pretty close with Georgia, pretty close with Andrew Thomas here. And when they did pass, it was a lot of real quick underneath, short game. So that meant he didn't have he had a lot of double teams, and then a lot of the times he didn't have a lot of responsibility or a lot of extended time he had to block. So maybe an easier task compared to the other guys, but that doesn't really hurt him. It doesn't really take away from his talents there. And then number 5 is going to be Josh Jones from Houston. Kind of a guy that he gets the job done. He gets the job done at a high level, was very productive for them, was very impressive. I think the perfect combination of athleticism and strength on the field. You see his footwork, how quick he moves his feet, I should say, and then how he's able to bully guys at time. I think that's a perfect combination for today. And definitely one of the more consistent pass protectors in the class. Very consistent, kept the quarterback clean. Only 1 sack allowed in 2019. He's not the technician guy. The footwork, it's fast, quick, but it's not there. It's kind of just going through the motion there. We're just gonna block this guy. That's basically what it is. Nothing technical with him. He kind of gets the job done. I think, not for every team, not for every coach. Some coach won't want to have to clean up his technique. They don't want to go back to step 1. And then some teams we don't need to do that. He gets the job done. Let's just get him in here and see if he can continue to help us out here and get us better at the tackle position. So it's not going to be for everybody there. Some talk about him moving to guard. I just like him at tackle. I like him at tackle. So he's another first-round grade, probably go mid to late first round, 5th tackle for me. And then we look at 6 through 10 here. 6 is Lucas Nang, who's another kind of a sleeper because I almost want to, I want to call him a first-round talent because he's a very good pass protector and he's solid in the run game as well. He did not give up a single sack his 3-year career at TCU. Very impressive. 3 years playing at TCU, so that is extremely impressive. But why he's round 2? The injury and the lack of knowing because I guess because of the quarantine right now. So that kind of moves him down. He could drop even further because of that, because teams may be scared, but the talent is there. The talent may say first round, so he's number 6 still for me. Ezra Cleveland is another a great example of today's, NFL tackle. Just the athleticism, I guess the speed and quickness side to side there. I think he'll fit an outside zone scheme playing left tackle, or perhaps right. But I do like him in the second round. You see these edge rushers that are winning in today's NFL. They're just more athletic, faster than these tackles. So that could be a reason Cleveland should work out. If he goes against maybe a stronger guy, could he struggle that way? I like the upside there. Austin Jackson is number 8. Yeah, for the most part this season he was pretty solid, and teams really like his upside. Maybe from what we heard, he's probably going to go earlier than everyone thinks. But I'm not quite there, but I do like him around 2. I guess the Iowa game still sticking with me against AJ Epinesa. And for tackles, it's not one of those positions where, I get away with, well, it's just one game. You kind of can say that, but, once you see something specific kind of beat them, it's a struggle to get that. It's a struggle to get that out of your head. So, but the main part, you look at him going against AJ Epinesa of Iowa, who's one of the top pass rushers in college football this year. But you expect, Epinesa is a strength guy. He probably just bullied him. Maybe he can't deal with the guys that are just stronger than him, and he did at times. But there was times where Epinesa was almost too quick for him. Jackson couldn't even react, and that's kind of what scares me. But other than that game, pretty impressive. That game he gave up probably more pressure than he did for most of the season, which is, I guess, kind of a good thing in a way. So, and a guy that people are confident, from what they've seen, he's improved. They can continue to improve. Sadiq Charles, number 9, very solid season for LSU this year. Another guy that impresses most once you get him downfield. He's downfield, wanting to hit people kind of with the running back, with Clyde Edwards-Helaire, getting downfield. That's kind of what stands out, kind of the high motor guy getting down there, pretty athletic. There's confidence he can be a solid guard, too. So I think worst case scenario is a starting guard. And Isaiah Wilson at 10, who sounds like he could go higher, and there's actually a reason for that kind of makes sense, is because, somebody wants a true right tackle, and, Lucas Nang is that, but he has the injury concern, so that kind of boosts up Isaiah Wilson. And in the first round, how many of those guys you got? Maybe Tristan Wirfs, besides the top guys, I guess we should, not consider. So, and then after we're talking about the guys after Isaiah Wilson for right tackles, there's not too many that stand out. So that could be the reason why the teams that desperately need a right tackle and they don't want to spend or they don't have the high draft pick, that could be a reason he can go a little higher there. So that's kind of a sneaky guy to watch out for, but he's number 10 right now. So that's the 10 tackles for right now. The full rankings are on the Patreon, or if you sign up for YouTube memberships, links down below. And then real quick, the guard class is kind of on the weaker side here. Unfortunately, we have one first-round grade in Cesar Ruiz, who's the physical guy that I think it's equally as good in pass protection, run blocking. Stood out games like the Notre Dame game, where it's a complete slop fest, and whoever's gonna be more physical in the trenches will win. And Michigan dominated that category, and that's what made them dominate the game. And guys like Cesar Ruiz stepped up or stood out in those situations. Robert Hunt, I think, even though I don't love this guard class, one of my favorite players in this class, because he's just got, he played right tackle at Louisiana Lafayette, and he's just got, and there's a lot of run block. There's actually more run blocking, attempts than the pass blocking attempts, which is kind of rare. I guess not really in college football, especially the smaller schools. And he has kind of the build, the frame, the power to kick it in the guard and be dominant. Because when he did have to pass protect, he didn't give up pressures. I think he only gave up 1 this year, and then when he was in, run blocking, he was just bullying people. So I think, the guy going from tackle to guard, it almost makes it easier on the guy too, and he's just got the power. I think this guy would be a really good guard. Lloyd Cushenberry, who played center, I like him a little better at guard. I think it'll be easier on him, maybe in a gap scheme. He's pretty good at just blocking straight forward, using his power, a lot of power there, so he could be a second-round guy. And then really, Robert Hunt and Cushenberry could be those sneaky late first-round guys. There's always some surprises, but really think about it, they're not too surprising. And that could be those guys right there. We expect Ruiz to go first. And then Damian Lewis, another LSU guy, would be number 4 in round 3, though. That's kind of where it drops off. You only see one round 1 guy, only 2 round 2 guys, and more definitely can go in round 2. And like I said, more can go in round 1, but it kind of drops off. A guy that could play guard or center. And Attain Moody from Fresno State is a guy that would probably be an early second round pick, but multiple injuries throughout his career. Just seems like year after year now. So that's tough. That's tough. To different injuries though, so that kind of softens the blow a little bit, but just so much power, just so much power. If he stayed healthy, he can end up being the best one from this class. And then moving on to the next 5, Jonah Jackson from Ohio State was pretty impressive this year. I think it was a good team effort, though. They always had some pretty wide open lanes for J.K. Dobbins, but Jonah Jackson really stood out in that regard there. So I think a round 3 guy could sneak in round 2. Tyler Biotish and Logan Stenberg, they're pretty darn similar, these 2 guys. They are pretty darn similar. 2 guys that I believe can play guard and center. We actually seen Stenberg play, a mixture of both, I guess more than Biotish, but guys that can definitely play either one. And then they locked it down for their teams. They're very, they didn't allow a lot of bad, I guess, in their game. John Simpson's a tough one. John Simpson's a tough one because he's one of those ones where you can make a highlight tape out of a guard, which is, I guess, it's kind of rare. So you kind of like that, just overpower so many guys, and you kind of see him get upfield a little bit. He wants to move on to that next block. He pancakes one guy, wants to move on to the next block. And you like that, but then, in the pass protection moments, he did give up some pressure. Nothing ridiculous, did give up some pressure, and then could lose his balance, which is odd because when he's going forward and just being a lot stronger than the guys, there's times in pass protection where he could lose his balance. So it's kind of rare to see that. But there's a lot to like, but then there is a lot to dislike. One of those guys. And Matt Hennessy, who has the tape, he's another guy that kind of just gets the job done. He doesn't have, I guess, the freakish length, and he doesn't have the athleticism. Maybe you just looking at the body type too. You prefer one of the other guys for sure. But he's a guy that gets the job done at a high level. Continue to do that, stay consistent. So he's gonna be number 10. And there's some other guards that kind of just, another Louisiana guy, Kevin Dotson's kind of a sleeper. Nick Harris from Washington's kind of right after too. A few guys there. But again, you can see the full rankings for other position groups too, on one page, and people that are part of the Patreon or part of the YouTube memberships already have that with a lot of other content as well. There's links in the description of that. You can check it out. Everybody will get that page with the full rankings the day the draft goes up, the day of the draft, I should say. So, and then we'll be live during the draft. Day 1, so if you can join us for that, and plenty of NFL draft content on the way. Only 9 days left, but a lot more content to get to. We're real busy over here, so if you can join us for that, please subscribe to both of our channels. Click that like button. Check us out on Twitter. That's an absolute must if you're a fan. That's going to do it for this one, though. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.